Hey, YouTube family. So this is Destiny. I have not been on in a while. We've been taking a little bit of a break, but we are definitely coming back in full force. So I'm super excited about coming on just to talk about homeschooling and your decision to homeschooling. And I just want to give you a few quick tips and tricks on how to start your school year off early and right and ready. If you are ready to start homeschooling, tune in and enjoy these tips.
Artlist.io.
There are a lot of misnomers out there that, oh, I have to have a lot of money, or I have to have a lot of time, or I have to have a lot of this. And to be perfectly honest with you, when I first started homeschooling, I literally had full time jobs. We homeschooled at night and on the weekends. My husband helped a lot and he still does. But a lot of people have all of these misconceptions in their head about why they cannot homeschool. And so I really am the creative person that's like, okay, if you don't think you can, then let's work around those. But this video isn't necessarily that. There is going to be a different video, just kind of like myth busting all of our homeschool stuff. But for right now, let me introduce myself. My name is Destiny. I am one half of the two live crew of homeschooling, and it's called Hope in Homeschooling. And we have a show that comes on Facebook every week where we may be changing the day. I don't know yet, but we will start back up in September. So you will definitely see us and you can go back and view a lot of our things on our YouTube page, which is Hope and Homeschooling on YouTube. But this is more of a personal one because I get a lot of calls, I get a lot of texts, I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of DMs, and a lot of people asking me or tagging me and things about homeschooling, how to start. And so I want to make sure that you all know how to start on your homeschooling journey on the right foot. So let's get it popping. So, first, you want to check with your state. So, I'm going to be the first person to say that there are some states where homeschooling is super easy. There are states kind of in the Midwest where you do not have to even report that you're homeschooling. Illinois is also one of those states. You can let your local school district know, but you don't have to. There's a great resource, excuse me, called the HSLDA, and they are literally kind of like a hub to get you started. If you don't go there, and they do have a membership, you can get free information from their website. But then, of course, there's a membership, and once you become a member, you can get kind of access to people to assist you and things like that. But I will tell you this. The homeschool virtual tribe is just that. It's a tribe. There are people out there who are willing to help. There are people almost in every state that are homeschooling. And if you don't have the resources to join an organization, please don't feel like, oh my God, I got to get up all this money. No, it's not like that. You can literally go to your Department of Education's website for your state and look up, or you can Google homeschooling in the state of Tennessee, homeschooling in the state of Indiana, homeschooling in the state of Ohio. And it's going to take you to a website, usually your Department of Education's website. And they are literally going to tell you everything that you need to do or to submit to turn in. So, for instance, I'm in the state of Tennessee currently. Our homeschooling requirements are 180 days at 4 hours a day. So, what that means is that we are required by the state to homeschool our children for 180 days with at least 4 hours a day. Now, the great thing about it is for the state of Tennessee, it doesn't necessarily tell you what you have to teach. It's just saying these are kind of the parameters. Outside of that, there are a few different ways that you can homeschool in the state of Tennessee. So, mind you, every state is different. In the state of Tennessee, you can either register as an independent homeschooler or you can register under an umbrella. The difference is that an independent homeschooler is those parents. We are assuming responsibility of keeping up with the paperwork and letting our local education agency or our local school board know these are how many days, and they usually send you a calendar, or they kind of give you a template. We do have one of those at on our online website, and literally it's just the parent who's in charge of the paperwork and also the teaching, right? The next step would be an umbrella. So my children are actually under an umbrella, and an umbrella school just covers you, and they handle a lot of the paperwork. They handle a lot of the reporting to the local school districts on your behalf, right? Both of them, I don't say there's any one better than the other. When I started homeschooling, we were independent, and then I switched to an umbrella. Umbrellas usually do have a cost associated with them. It's not much, but there is a cost. And so it's just definitely something you can ask around. You can join your Facebook homeschool groups, and they'll pretty much tell you, hey, I use this umbrella, or I use this one, or I'm registered under this school, to assist me and teach me. So it's all different types of ways, and there are so many different resources out there. I don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. So again, the first thing you do is you check with your state to learn the homeschool laws, okay? Because we want to make sure that you educate your children, but we also want to make sure that you are able to educate them and be educated. And that is very important, okay? The next thing is talk to your children, ask them, what do you want to learn? If there is nothing else that is important, this is probably the most important thing. When you are homeschooling, a lot of times there is a term that you will hear on a lot of different blogs, a lot of different podcasts on YouTube, on Instagram and your Facebook groups, and it's called deschooling. And essentially, deschooling is a process where you as the parent, as well as the child, especially if your child has been in public school before, or a private school or a charter school, there's a period of time when those children and you need to go through a process of deschooling. And deschooling is just how it sounds. You are literally going from a place of being in that system, in the system of public education or private education. You are deconstructing all of what you think education is, and you are giving yourself and your child a break. That is it. I will never recommend for anybody to pull their child from public school and immediately start homeschooling, because unless you were privy to being homeschooled as a child, what we have in our mind is all we know. And usually, a majority of what we have in our mind is public school or private school or whatever setting we were educated in. And a lot of times, we as parents are pulling our children out of that system. So it doesn't make sense for us to pull our children out of that system only to recreate that very system at home. Now, that doesn't mean, and again, there are so many other videos that I'm going to post, because there are so many different styles of homeschooling that we can go down a rabbit hole if I go into that. And these are really supposed to be just a super quick, like, introduction to homeschooling, kind of what you need. But one of the things that I did, even during our process of deschooling for our children, was I talked to them. What do you want to learn? That is so important. We don't even ask our kids that. We just automatically assume that they need to learn reading, writing, arithmetic, and we keep it moving. And we try to, many of us in the beginning, try to put together this beautiful space and do all these beautiful things. And don't get me wrong, I love homeschooling spaces. I love homeschooling rooms. I think they're creative, they're beautiful, and I use them more for storage. So, what I do use, and I'll kind of turn it a little bit so you guys can see, I have these wonderful carts behind me. See them? And we literally have all of our supplies on those carts. Each of my cart has a different subject, and then we have an art cart. There are some parents who use carts, and they have a cart for each child. Some parents have their own cart. So, like, I don't need a cart, but that I probably should, because I have like a lot of stuff everywhere, but that's neither here nor there. We all homeschool differently. But in this process, you want to make sure you ask your children, what do you want to learn? So I have 4 children that I'm homeschooling out of the 11 that we have. 4 of my children all learn differently. Their learning styles are differently. They all want to learn differently. I have a 3-year-old. We're homeschooling her. She's all sensorial. Sensorial literally just means she's hands-on at this point. But she's a 3-year-old. My 6-year-old loves dinosaurs. Everything we do is about dinosaurs and reptiles. Literally everything we do. I have an 8-year-old who loves science. She wants to blow up stuff. She wants to, in school they would call it mischievous, right? But essentially she has a mind that is full of wonder and full of question. And so I have to make sure that I'm cultivating all those questions and that curiosity. And the way that we do it is through science. So literally, we have to do science with her every day. She's got to do something every day, because guess what? If she doesn't, she's going to create her own science project. So why not Put that in a little bit of order and a little bit of structure. Let her still create, but that is a piece of our homeschool. So talk to your children, ask them what they want to do. It is very important that you do that because they can guide you. If not, as parents, we're just going to pick curriculum that we want to see or that we want them to see. And the whole point of homeschooling is so that they can get a little bit of freedom, not a little bit, so they can freedom. We're raising free people. We're raising free thinkers. And that is very important is for them to know, hey, this is what we're doing. Next, do not break the bank! Exclamation point. There are plenty of free and low cost options for home educating. I'm going to say this again for the people in the back. Do not break the bank. There are plenty of free and low cost options for homeschooling. I'm going to give you a few. Okay. YouTube has so many valuable educational videos. YouTube is great. There's a homeschooling mom. Her name is Cordelia Spence. Shout out to Cordelia. She is the truth. She is a mom. She helps moms organize and get together and get their lives in order, not just for homeschooling, but just in life. So shout out to Cordelia. But one of the things that she talked about on our Hope and Homeschooling show was about utilizing technology in a way that works for you. And so she was like, I'm not going to take technology away. She was like, we just turn it into a tool. You want to turn it into a tool. So YouTube has a whole bunch of educational shows. Netflix has educational shows. Your computer or your tablet have so many different things that you can download for your children to make them not to make them educational. There are educational apps that you can download. Then obviously you have, even if it's like I said, low or no cost, you have Half Price Books, which is a store here. You have all different type of discount bookstores. You have Thrift Books, which is a bookstore that's online that is it's like a discount bookstore. So don't break the bank to get books or things that you want. Also, Facebook Marketplace is great to get used homeschool curriculum if that is the way that you choose. eBay is another great way to get used homeschool curriculum if that is what you choose. And then also, there's a lot of different Facebook groups that are like homeschool curriculum swap and things like that. Again, if that is the way that you choose to home educate your children, make sure that you're doing all of those low or no cost things. Also, in a lot of states, and a lot of people don't know this, but if you get public assistance, which is like food stamps or TANF, which is temporary aid for needy families, it's like cash assistance, you can get in many states discounted memberships to certain museums and zoos and aquariums. I'm going to drop that there for you. Not everybody has the means and the finances to do all those things. So use what you have to educate your babies. Okay. Many cities also have museums. They also have free museums. A lot of cities have those historical markers, that you can turn into anything. So keep that in mind. Low or no cost, do not break the bank. You can literally educate your child just based off of what you do at home. And you parents have skills and you have talents and you need to put those to work. I digress. Do not break the bank to homeschool. All right. Get a library card. These are free and many libraries have classes. So this kind of goes with the last slide that I just showed you about homeschooling or not breaking the bank. So library cards are free for the most part. I don't know that I've ever ran into a city that had a library card that costs. And if they do, it's pretty low and no cost. Many libraries are also going to no fines. So you can check out books and you don't get fined for them as long as it's not an excessive amount of time that you have them checked out. So consider that. In our local library here, so I actually live in Tennessee, I have two great library systems. I have the Clarksville Library and then I have the Nashville Public Library. Both of them are great. Both libraries have different programmings for kids. Incorporate those free programs into your homeschool. Easy. Allow your child to go and look at, the different books, get books that interest them. They have movies there, they have DVDs. You can also teach them how to research in the library. Some of our children don't learn how to truly research, like get books, cite sources, things like that. Like you can learn all of those skills in the library. Libraries also have computers. So if your family cannot afford to have any type of technology in their home, which everybody's budget is different, you can go to the library and access computers. And the computers in the kids section usually have those filters or firewalls rather, on them. So that way they cannot access things that are inappropriate, or at least they shouldn't be able to. It would be much harder, as well as the library system as a whole. Our library here also has online and Audible books. So, literally, if you do have technology at home, including a phone, you can access your book or you can listen to an ebook online. So, get a library card. And again, do not break the bank for your homeschool education and curriculum for your children. Got to keep it moving. And this is the last one. And then I'm going to just send you off with some well wishes. Life has great lessons. Make memories and enjoy the moments. We are all homeschooling for various reasons. Don't ever, so we homeschool in my house. We are year-round homeschoolers. So we do a few weeks on, then we take a few weeks off. Then we do a few weeks on, then we take a few weeks off. And then, usually when the holidays come around, we do a lot of we'll do activities, but they're more themed on kind of like holiday things, or, we'll just take that time spending time with family. That's a lot of times in the American system, at least, when most people are out of work. Everybody kind of shuts down or slows down rather from like the end of November after the holiday Thanksgiving, and then it goes all the way until after, the holiday season, the Christmas season. So take advantage of that time to do family things, to go on, hikes, or to go on walks, or to just spend time to watch movies, maybe analyze the movies. I always tell people the best reading is, a movie with subtitles, right? You want your children to get a movie anywhere, turn on subtitles on Netflix and let them have at it. Before you know, they're subconsciously reading to try to keep up with it, and you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. That was a free tip. But seriously, life has great lessons. Parents, every day, especially for those parents who work outside of the home, you get a check either biweekly, monthly, bi monthly. That check has to be budgeted into bills. That check has to be saved. That check has to be distributed amongst all the different things that you have to do. Give your children a piece of that process. That is learning. That is math. That is comprehension. That is problem solving skills. That is critical thinking. When you go to the grocery store, allow them to make a list for you. Allow them to assist you with clipping the coupons if you coupon. Give them a budget and say, hey, this is our food budget. These are the meals that we cook. Let's see how you would shop for our meals. And allow your children to start getting a part of that process. Life has great lessons. Make memories and enjoy the moment. So many times as parents, we do not, we can get caught up just like everyone else. All of us have these beautiful things, right? All of us have phones, all of us have laptops, all of us, or many of us, I'm not going to say all of us, that's a generalization. Many of us have technology that can keep us away from truly connecting with our children or truly connecting with our spouse. And it is very important that we start to be in the moment, especially in homeschool. We all are pulling them out for a specific reason. We are pulling them out to make sure that they're getting the education, or that we are protecting them, or that they're getting the true knowledge of what we want them to learn about history or about science or about math. And specifically for families and people of color, we are doing it so that we can learn, so that our children can learn true history of lineage, and not necessarily history of oppression, or of suppression, right? We don't want information suppressed. So many of us pull our children from a system that wasn't necessarily created to educate them the full way, or doesn't have the budget to do so. And we decided to do it ourselves. So let's remember to stay in the moment. As I'm wrapping up and I'm closing up, just remember this. You guys are great. You guys can definitely do it. I don't have a doubt. Homeschooling is not hard, and your children will not be weird, and they will get the socialization they need. And if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't don't hesitate to stop, hit me on my email, slide into my DMs on Instagram, send me a private message on Facebook, or leave a comment below. And if you leave a comment below, I will definitely try to get back to you. My children always tell me to say, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video, because it is very important and it is information that will be helpful. See you next time.